So depending on how long the gap has been, what I'd also consider is adding a new position onto your profile and resume, and then naming the position as something like, full-time job seeker, or whatever you feel is reflective of your situation, given whatever the reason for the gap was. And so this will really help you in the sense that you won't get screened out in an ATS if you're concerned that that's happening just because of the gap. And like, if you're concerned that maybe they're only like screening people that are currently employed or something like that. I personally haven't ever done that, but I'm sure that there's a way to do it with ATS systems. So that should help out there. But yeah, and then in this section of your resume and profile, this also gives you the chance to really speak to other activities that you're doing while you're not working. Maybe you've been volunteering a little bit, or maybe you're taking care of a family member, right? So I'd suggest writing it in there and on your profile and on your resume. And as you know, employers sometimes like to ask what you've been up to since you've been out of work. So this helps kind of beat them to that question. And as a rule of thumb, what I would suggest for doing this, I would do this for an employment gap of over a year. So hopefully that is helpful as far as just kind of knowing when it would make sense to do it. That's my personal opinion. And then also, what I'd say too is it's really going to be important to make time for networking in person if you can. And making that a priority is going to be important after a big employment gap. And I say that because, it's honestly hard enough to get interviews without one. But the reality is that it does make it even harder to get contacted when you're competing for roles with candidates that have more recent experience, right? So do try attending the same networking groups and events a couple of times. And doing this will help with continuing to build your network, which is hugely important when you're going through your job search.